Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us on our first ever episode of the Sophia Collective Founders Corner. Thank you for taking the time to want to be with us, to learn, to grow, and to be inspired by stories of some amazing founders from the region and from all over the world, really. With me today is the founder of the Sophia Collective, Sara Salhab. For those who know her, they know she is such a powerhouse of energy, of passion, of empathy. She is, and I'm very happy to have her, show more and more on platforms such as this one. And you will be, I'm sure, seeing more of her. Um, to her liking or not, she knows she has to do that because she has so much to give, so much energy, so much love. And I think, if anything, this is the right time, for us to experience humans with such passion and with such energy. And of course, with us is Daniel. Daniel is the founder of a startup called NUET. And he is a serial entrepreneur who has been through an amazing journey, I think, of transformation, of growth, of success. And we would love to learn more from you. We would love to hear more about you and about your journey with your startup. So if you can take us a bit, of course, tell us more about yourself so that everyone gets to know you, and then more about NUET and how you started it and why. I think these are, the main questions, and then we can take it from there.
Thank you so much for having me. It's such an honor to be here today. Uh, yes, I am a serial entrepreneur. I'm also a father of three. So Nude is something that is very close to my heart. And what Nude is about, at its core, is about protecting mental space. And the name actually comes from Swedish. Nuet means the present moment. And that's
Yeah,
very
nice.
intentional
Mm,
because we all carry this invisible layer of life admin,
mm,
emails, appointments, deadlines, things we simply cannot afford to forget. And over time, we realized that the real cost here wasn't time, it was attention. Even when you're physically present, part of your mind is somewhere else. So Nude is our attempt to quietly give attention back so you can actually be in the present moment.
mm,
And what it is an iOS app. So it connects to your inbox and it identifies important commitments hidden inside your emails. These are school events, bookings, deadlines, renewals, and we make sure that they're reflected in your calendar. And it goes beyond that. So you can forward screenshots, you can send in voice notes, you can capture things the moment they enter your life. And then Inuit scans these screenshots or voice notes and converts them to calendar entries. And every morning, Inuit gives you a simple heads up of your day so you can start calm and not reactive. And beyond that, we're looking to help you not only with the day to day, but to help you stay organized with all your commitments and give you an early heads up when things like your passport expires or an insurance is up
mm.
for renewal, and perhaps even find you the optimal deal. So what it really is it is your assistant. And
Yeah.
it's kind of your life repository, if you will. But it's an active repository that knows your preferences and continuously assists you. So it's not about adding more to your life. And that's really important to us. It's about making sure what's already there is handled. So you don't have to be your own assistant.
I love that. I love the name. I think it's beautiful and it really sticks with you because, as you said, we're all trying to be living in the present moment all the time, but we are not able to identify what is it that is taking us away from that experience. And we're just like, we keep doing our life normally, and we question, like, why am I not able to live in the present moment?
Yes. It's so hard, isn't it?
Yeah. So, Sarah, I pass the mic to you.
All right. Yeah, I mean, Danny, tell us a little bit of how you kind of ended up with the concept of NUET. Its evolution. I mean, I love hearing what it does, but how did you get here? And we talked about you being a serial entrepreneur. What led you to this point?
What led us to this point was said, I'm a father of three, so I know the mental clutter is something that's very, very close to my heart, very close to my family. It's something we experience every single day here. So we built this with a lot of purpose. We built this for ourselves, really. And we didn't want to build another tech company. It's we wanted to solve that, that feeling when you think you're technically done for the day, but your brain isn't. And it
We
feels
know.
like there is that background tab that's still always open in your brain.
The
So
list
for me,
never
that's
ends.
life happening. It never ends, right? And that's what we're trying to tackle. Um, for me, it's the school emails, the logistics, the renewals, and the appointments you cannot forget. And when we looked at the tech landscape, something else stood out as well. So most apps out there today are there and designed to capture your attention. They compete for your time. And we want to build something different, something that just works quietly in the background, not demanding more from you, but rather something that gives back. And that's kind of the core ethos of NUET.
That's quite powerful, actually. I think most people are so afraid, and not just afraid, but they're so overwhelmed as well with everything else that's taking away time from them. So how explain that a little bit more. How is it kind of working in the background to not take time away? Because is there like time for me to have to set it up anyway? Like, is there an investment of time that I need to put in place? How does it truly work that it actually gives me time back?
So it takes about 2 minutes to set up.
Oh,
You literally download the app, you consent, and then you click a huge green button, which basically says go. That's
okay.
it. And what we do then is that we start scanning your emails for events that come up. And we make a qualitative assessment of if we think that these are interesting events for you or not. And we learn over time as well. So we learn your preferences over time. Um, and then whenever something important comes up, we simply send you a ping saying, hey, this is coming up now. And also every morning, and this is one of our most powerful features, I think, is that every morning we send you a ping saying, Sara, Rasha, this is your day ahead.
Mm.
So you can always start prepared. So it's not really about heavy-handed setup. It's rather about saving you time from having to read all those emails in details yourself. I know we keep receiving these emails with huge attachments, and they often have something, page 17, paragraph 6. Oh, you mustn't forget this date. It's just painful for humans to read that.
So it catches even that kind of
Yes.
small detail. And then, well, you mentioned also passports. So Friday and going to renew my passport is on my calendar, but it's time for my passport renewal. It actually adds it to my action items for that day to
Yes.
do. Okay. Wow. Super
Yes.
smart.
It is.
Amazing.
So it's something we're really trying to be proactive here and trying to, over time, we'll build, of course, more and more features into this, right,
Hmm.
to help you. But right now, yes, it is that setup, and something we find that works incredibly well as well is when you add your life partner to this as well, or people that you share a lot of events with,
Mm.
uh, make it incredibly seamless to work together and to basically get a joint overview of your day ahead.
So, Daniel, what's your biggest pain point right now? What is it that either we can help you with, or it's like something that's frustrating as a founder? What's something that's taking a bit of your mind space?
Um, First of all, being on a podcast like this is fantastic. Thanks again for having me here. Where I think the Sophia Collective could be incredibly helpful is if members just want to try the app out, and if they like it, if it resonates with them, please reach out. If you borrow them for 15 minutes just to get real feedback on what works and what doesn't work in their lives. Some of the most brilliant features we have added in the app have been through those kind of conversations.
That's great. So they just reach out to you in a
Yes,
way,
please
and then
do.
okay, amazing. I don't think too many people have a chance to end up talking directly to the founder. So we'll see how that goes. Thanks for
I think
offering
that's
that, Danny.
incredibly powerful, and it's such an honor to get to speak to our users and to see how we can help them better.
Beautiful. So cool.
So I just had a question pop in my mind, and because I had some insights about how you guys started, right? How did you, and we have like in the Sophia Collective, and of course in our communities, people who might just now be thinking about building something, especially with all the transformation that's happening and how easy it has become to build an MVP, etc. But where did you get the validation for your problem? Like when did it was like it was only your problem, right, at one point? And what
Yeah.
happened for you to realize, oh my God, this could be big?
You're right. So that's the power of AI today,
Mm-hmm.
that it is incredibly fast to build something. I wouldn't necessarily say a product that you can launch properly, but at least to test an idea. We differentiate between an MVP, a minimum viable
Yeah.
product, that is something that you can test and show to a few friends, to a production ready product that needs to have significantly more security, more testing, etc. Right? They're two very, very different species. But what's really important to, I think, to any founder who wants to try a product is to go out and speak to users, to really hear
Yeah.
their pain points. Otherwise, it's easily done to start developing something that's just
Yeah.
perfect in your own little head. But getting that
Yeah.
user
I
feedback
tend to
is
do that.
so
I
valuable.
tend to do that myself. I tend to think, that's a great idea, and just go ahead and build it.
Yes. Well, it's amazing that you can do that these days, right?
True. Yeah, it's much faster. You reiterate, you fail faster, and you go back
Yes.
to building all over again.
Rasha is a serial builder. I think she loves building more than anything else.
Yeah, and that's what I
Amazing.
like
I
doing.
love that.
So, another question from my side. What kind of things kept you up at night? Like, what were the things that were truly like making you think, like, what, that were troubling your sleep, let's say, or making it difficult for you to, be at peace as a founder and as a founder of NUET specifically?
Something quite fundamentally shifted about 6, 8 months ago when we did a significant pivot of the company, and that was a
Hmm.
hard decision. So the product initially looked quite different. Initially, we started looking at and solving the less regular, larger pain points when it comes to life admin. That could be the insurance renewals. That could be your MOT for the car. It could be, well, again, kind of the passport renewals or visa renewals and whatnot.
Yeah.
And the problem with that was that, first of all, we asked our users to spend a lot of time setting that up initially, just to basically
Hmm.
upload their life into that life repository. And that was a big ask. And secondly, these problems, they occurred, even though they're big, they occur quite irregularly.
Okay.
So after a lot of conversations, we had to ask ourselves quite a difficult question. Like, if we disappear tomorrow, will people truly miss this?
Mm.
And the answer was quite uncomfortable, because they wouldn't miss the occasional big admin task being handled. What they needed help with was a daily weight. So the constant stream of emails, these small commitments that keep stacking up. And another thing that also became quite clear in this was that the real fear is not financial. The real fear is disappointing someone you love.
Mm.
That's really
Oh,
what
that's beautiful. Yeah.
keeps people up at night.
Yeah.
So it is missing that school form, forgetting something important,
Mm.
or letting someone you love down.
Yeah.
I mean, we had a
I mean
perfect
that.
example today. We had today's Valentine's, like the day before Valentine's Day, right?
Yeah.
So happy Valentine's Day to all. And my son's
Sounds like fun.
class apparently had a friendship candy exchange. And guess what? We were the only parents not to send anything in because we didn't know.
Oh.
We missed the email.
Haram.
So he comes
Yeah,
home
what
Oh my
happened?
God.
he's like,
What
and he's
happened?
like,
Oh.
today was Friendship Day. And we're like, what's Friendship Day? And it's like, everyone brought a treat. And we're like, well, what are your treats? And did you eat them already? And he's like, no, I would get in trouble for eating them. So he has this big bag of like 17, 18 different candies. And we're like, so next week we have to make it up to the class and send a lot of stuff in. But it's exactly to your point, I think, Danny, is that disappointing someone you love. Both Magnus and I were like, we were like the shock on our face. We're like, you didn't get it? You didn't catch it? I didn't catch it? Oh my God.
That's a reason for you to download NUET now.
I know, I'm, I mean, I think Magnus is a big user of NUET in its original format, right? I think.
Yes.
And then with the pivot, I think we clearly need it. So definitely we'll gain a new user after today, Danny. Like, we're like, okay, my God, this is crazy. I had to put that in there because it's always, I think there's almost every time that there is a conversation like this or you share it with parents, I think we can list 2 to 3 examples of how much stuff we miss. And when the kids look at you and like these eyes of disappointment, it's the hardest thing ever to be like, okay. Our kids have gotten used to it. It's like, you guys never read it.
So surprise them now.
Yeah, true. That would be great.
Yeah. So Daniel, you mentioned something that caught my attention. You said like at one point in time through the journey of the building, you were asking your, customers, your customer base to put all their information, all the details of their lives on the platform and to trust you fully with everything, right?
Yeah.
So as a tech founder and with what's happening in the world and with how innovation is accelerating, how do you think you need to balance this with ethics, with responsibility?
I think that's a great question. It's something we spend a lot of time thinking about. And I think with AI, especially, the real ethical question isn't just, can we build this, but should we? Innovation moves really fast. AI makes it 10 times faster or 100 times faster. But when building tools that sit inside people's lives, inside the inbox, calendar, personal data, you're dealing with trust, a lot of trust, autonomy, and human agency. So I think, first of all, like I would divide this into 3 areas. First, if you look at the privacy and security, that's foundational. If you're handling personal information, you have a responsibility to minimize data, to encrypt it properly, and to design for protection from day one. Secondly, with transparency, people need to understand what the system is doing and why. And AI should never feel mysterious and manipulative. It should feel predictive and supportive. That's important. The third, this one matters to me personally. You have to be careful not to remove agency. The AI should assist, but it shouldn't replace judgment. It should use stress, but it shouldn't create dependency. So if you look at our app and what we're doing, we want to help people be more present. And it's our job to support them in being more present, not to make them passive. So just because something can be automated doesn't necessarily mean that it should be. And that balance for me is building a technology that empowers humans rather than control them. That's very important.
Yeah, I love that. This is so aligned. Sara, if you want to speak about the alignment with Sophia 3.0,
I mean, you can. I think you can see the way my brain was starting to run, because you're exactly what we are describing as a kind of Sophia founder, Daniel. Like, this is, when we're looking at how we support people short term and long term, it's ultimately those kind of ethical human values that we want to embed, and also want to support and encourage for long-term success. And anything we can do to truly help get the word out, because it's a lot about the founders, isn't it, and about the underlying intention behind any tool. And to know that it sits in good hands and with good people, it's a lot, people have given up their agency. I love that you use that word, because we see how people are consuming AI. I mean, as we consumed on our phones, or we consumed data, And before that, maybe some people had consumed certain elements of food or shopping or whatever it is. It's a mindset. And I think if we address and approach AI and all these new tools out there in the same level of scrutiny and in the same level of understanding, I think we would be in a very different place today. And hopefully, as the more and more of the world is becoming aware, of open source, of all these, hundreds of tools available to us, that we will use it with discretion. We use it with agency. We use it in a way that we are informed that this is a good tool. And also, I think it becomes really important to know who's behind the tool. The more and more I'm talking to people, it's like, who are the founders that are really creating this? What's their intention behind this? And what do they do with the information? And for a lot of us to support people that are aligned to our values. So get a stamp of like a Sophia founder, you're really aligned to those type of compassionate, very strong values becomes, I think, so important for people to recognize that and see that. So thank you for sharing that with that point.
It's beautiful.
It's so aligned, and we can't, I think, agree more on that. And we wish for more founders and more people to create from that energy and from that space. And maybe that leads to another question, Danny, because it's how difficult and how lonely is it being on this journey? Because we know the answer a little bit, given that we are in this space where we are constantly kind of against that wave of the speed and all these technocrats, whatever you call them, that they're incredibly fast and they're spending millions on money. But when you're building something of substance, how does it feel? And maybe lonely is not the right word, because maybe that's how we feel. But how does it feel for you?
No, you're right. It's an incredibly fast-paced world. When we started this, it wasn't technically possible to do many of the things that are very efficient and can be made incredibly well today. And these things just change so rapidly. You remember that probably 6-12 months ago, everyone was talking about AI hallucination. We don't really talk about that anymore because it's just become so good. So these are problems that have just naturally evolved out of. But you're right, this space now requires a lot of speed to build it. And I think it requires a lot of stamina. And we're not talking about physical stamina, but emotional stamina. To build something meaningful, it's a long journey and it's an unpredictable journey. Progress is very rarely linear, right? So the only thing that sustains you is conviction. Hype or headlines, that they come and go. But is that having that belief that the problem you solve truly matters and seeing it making a difference in real life, that's what at least keeps me going.
That's beautiful. Even if the traction is building slowly, as long as you're doing that, that you're changing lives. And this is, I think, as Sara mentioned, the human behind the startup. What is your intention? What is your aspiration? And it's beautiful to get to know it and on a deeper level.
Yeah, thank you. I think having that level of conviction that helps you really push those extra 10, 20, 30% that you need. In this day and age, you do need it.
Of course. But also a question from that, what do you need during this journey? What do you feel sometimes if you sit and know, what do you need as a person? What would make you go not 20, 30% as part of your own resilience, your own grit, your own belief and motivation? What could make you go to the 150%?
You know what really motivates us is when we hear from our users and we hear stories from them on how this is transforming their lives. That's really what energizes us. Everyone in the team.
No, that's beautiful. So the
validation. Amazing feedback. But it's a validation, or even if they tell us that, hey, this is not working, something is broken here. But getting that feedback, building with our users, You know, if they bother
I
to
love
send
that.
us feedback, well, it means that they care, right?
True. And they want to continue using it. So
Yeah.
that's only enhancement on the platform. Yeah,
Yes.
that's beautiful. Thank you, Daniel.
No, thank you.
Sara, do you want to add anything?
Yeah, I mean, I think for me, it's the biggest part of all of this is kind of like, I feel you, right? Like I can tell, um, the pain points, the inspirational points, the word I loved the most was the word conviction, right? Like the ability to truly believe in something, and despite sometimes all odds, just keep going. It's so powerful. How many, and given that we didn't talk a lot about you being kind of a serial entrepreneur, so this is not your first rally, as they say. You've been here,
Yeah.
I'm sure, before. So it's good that hearing from the user sustains you, but what else? Like, because it's you've been here before. Like, how do you keep going? And what advice do you give to others are exactly in your spot right now?
I think you have to be of a certain personality type, to be frank. You have to
What is that personality type?
you have to be really weird.
Yes, like you like pain.
Yeah. No, I think
It's like you don't mind rejection. What is that?
no, honestly, there there's a lot of rejection, and you need to be able to motivate yourself, right? You need to be able to get that energy to keep driving from within. And I think different people get their energy from different sources. Every single person needs to understand where they get their energy from and build from there. And that's hugely individual where people get energy from. I mean, I cannot advise on that, but recognizing that there are certain things, people, forums, whatever it may be, that give energy, trying to maximize your time there. And, there are certain things in life that take energy, and that can be, they should probably be avoided if possible.
Yeah.
But I think that goes for everything in life, right? That's not only in
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you do
in the
that
startup
well?
world.
Do you think you do that well?
Yes,
Okay.
I'm quite aware what gives me energy and what takes energy,
Yeah.
and I try
Yeah.
to manage my time.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
beautiful.
Yeah. I think we get to a certain age where that does happen, doesn't it? Like
Yes,
and it's not just about putting the head down and going, but really ensuring the rejuvenation comes from beautiful places to kind of keep that momentum going and
yes,
move towards results.
I agree.
So I
I
love the
agree.
advice. I love the advice
Mhm.
for founders, like, and everyone else, not just founders. Like, I identify what gives you energy and identify what takes energy from you, and
Yes,
just work on that formula until you are able to continually nourish yourself and feed yourself to be able to also give. I think that is so deep, Daniel. You shared so many deep things, I think, with us today. I love it. Yeah.
and I think that's really important. And it's something that requires quite a lot of self-reflection. But if you find that formula,
Sure.
then you can perform at a higher level than if you're constantly drained for.
Yeah. But you hear from founders, like, a lot of the time they have so many things on their plate. They're firefighting
Yeah,
all the time. They're having to deal with so many people issues on the ground, technical
yeah,
issues as well. So talking
yes,
about self-reflection and, identifying certain things, I don't believe they give enough time for themselves to
no,
invest in that.
No.
But from where you are today, from like talking to you and hearing you speak with that kind of energy, I think it should be inspiring a lot of founders. Like, this is an investment that you are doing to grow your startup, not just to grow yourself and to be in a better place. This is an investment to grow your business as well. Because if you don't have that, down the line, you might make some decisions that might be rash based on, you know, different source rather than what truly matters for you and the business.
Yes,
Well,
but I
one of
think
our
what's
colleagues.
important. Sorry.
No, go ahead, Danny.
What's important is to find ways in your day-to-day work that give you energy. I mean, I don't think it's feasible for everyone to go to Bali every second week, right? And to get energy from that, you need to get the energy from every single day, right? And understand every single day what gives you energy. Otherwise, if you only get that energy from going to places or going on holidays or fancy restaurants, whatever it
It's
is,
going to be difficult, yeah.
it's much more difficult to sustain that.
True. Sara, you wanted to say something?
I wanted to actually reinforce it in the sense that one of our friends and colleagues, Rasha, often says that the entrepreneurial journey is one of kind of holding a mirror, because it's not that only there's like reflections and elements. You almost have to, because there's so many people telling you what to do and how to do it and how to go about it. So almost every trigger and what's right and what's wrong, and should you go this direction or that direction, what should you do for yourself, and you're good or bad, and there's a lot of feedback, right? Like there's so much, and everyone feels entitled to giving you that feedback, whether you ask for it or not. I know, and then you have to be open to it, because it's also the users that are coming and customers, and that's how you build a business. So when you combine all that, it's like multiple sources of inputs coming at us, that if you don't build that strength in character and the ability to reflect and go down and reinvent every once in a while, and then have what you were saying, Danny, that source of motivation and inspiration, it's a doomed journey. Like it's going to be a very tough one, and people end up hitting the wall with. So the ability there's a lot of growth that happens on these type of journeys, and some will be able to handle it and some will have to exit, because it is naturally. And I think and that's also a form of self-reflection, because it's not for every single person. And I think it's so okay to understand that, and it's so okay to feel that, and it's so okay to be understanding and comfortable with oneself, to know that that's not the space for that type of stress, almost, I guess it's called, because it is a stressful circumstance, and it's positive or negative, it's still a stress. So it is beautiful to kind of, I think for me, if we kind of concise that to people listening, this would be such an important element, where just know oneself and understand that there's no right or wrong in the journey. It's so okay to choose your own path, when it comes to this, because it's a lot of fun for certain personalities, and it's not at all for others. So I think it's kind of understanding where you fit on that spectrum, and what you're willing to choose. So yeah, I mean, this is I didn't expect the conversation to go here, Danny. So I'm so excited and grateful for it, reaching this point, and I really wish NUET so much success, and I hope and pray that our listeners and Sophia members and people take this up and try it, download the app. We'll do our best to share it. We'll share it with our group. I think we'll try to also get your message out there in a concise manner, especially about what NUET really is and what it does. That was super. Thank you for summarizing that. I think that was really beautifully done. So yeah, may I ask you just one last thing as we're approaching kind of closure point, but are you okay and comfortable to maybe ask a question for our next founder that we would interview? I know I didn't give you a heads up with it, but just wondering.
I love it. That's a great idea.
Of course. Can you tell me who it is, or?
We don't know yet. I think it might be someone that's working on like a cybersecurity or someone that's working on a social entrepreneur project. We don't know yet who it's going to be. But what would you like your question? The question can be general, so you could ask anything.
I think Without knowing exactly their background, and I would forward the question that you asked me to them. I think it's a valid one. Like, what gives you energy, and how do you stay energized and motivated?
Mm.
I think the answer for everyone will be different, but I think it's important for everyone to have their own answer to that question.
And do you think that, in answering your own question, do you think it has to be directly related to what you're working on?
No, not necessarily, but I think it helps because, to your point, you're juggling so many different things every single day. So if you don't find any space there to get energized, there's quite a high risk of burnout. Because in a founder's world, there isn't that much extra time. Right?
Yeah. Mm. You need a NUET for founders.
Yes, we do.
You're like, that's what I'm trying to do.
We can still use it, right?
Yes, yes. Yeah, I use a lot. For me, at least, for me, it saves me a lot of time, and I stopped reading emails and more like scanning them these days because I know that NUET's just going to handle it. So
that's so cool.
I don't really need to worry about it.
That's great. So users can, and people who are watching can download it from, you mentioned it's an iOS, right? So they just type in NUET and they can download it and go through the experience, send you feedback if there's any, and be able to use it anywhere around the world. It's accessible, correct?
Absolutely.
Okay,
Absolutely.
I think that's perfect. I hope you get more downloads and more users and who are able to give you feedback and go through the journey with you. I definitely am a user and I love it. So I hope more people experience it as well. We wish you all the best. All the best of luck to you, Daniel.
Thank you for being with us, Daniel. Thank you.
Thank you for your time. See you. Take
care. Have a great one.
Bye.
See you.
Bye. See you.